Today, locking in $14,000 in profit, trading 2 XFA accounts with Topstep. I'm going to show you guys the P&L. I'm going to talk about the trades and also break down one of my favorite setups. I know. I always talk about this setup, but guys, it's too good to be true. When you see this setup, when you see this action, you got to get in. You got to make money. Today, we did it live on YouTube. So first things first, my P&L, 7,365, 7,225. This is in the Express Funded accounts with Topstep, 2 Express Funded accounts. Obviously, I have the live funded account. I just don't have the access to it. I transfer the full amount from my XFA account into the live account, and then I've still got these XFA accounts as well. And you can see today making $14,000 with those two combined. Let's talk about this setup here, this middle of the day setup. Oh my baby Jesus, do we love this setup. Look at this thing off of the pivot point right there, back up to this pivot point. We got stuck there, we pulled back, but I want to break down kind of like why here on the 1 minute chart. If we go to the 15-minute chart and we pull this up, look at how nicely this pulled out. So remember, there's a pivot point right here at this level, and guess what? We've got this area as well from this 15-minute candle that we talked about before. This is the exact strategy that we talked about on Saturday, the video on Saturday where I talk about this idea of where we close at based on these 15-minute candles. So when we're bullish, we're closing at, the top of the candle. When we're like pulling back, we got that 50% area. And then if we close the bottom of that 15-minute candle, well, that obviously means that we're losing. The bulls are losing. The trend is pulling back, and well, it's something to think about. So you can see on this pullback here, we had this 15-minute candle with the wick on top. We closed below it. So that's obviously bearish. And we basically kind of like held right there. The next candle, we closed again below this candle. So this 15-minute candle, we're closing below it. We're pulling back into here. We kind of bounce in the middle of this one. Okay, but still red. No point in doing anything until we really get a confident bounce and we start to really show strength, right? Look where all these candles are closing. I just want you to see. We close there, close there, close there. So we basically closed at the low of like each of these 15-minute candles on this pullback. Whereas on this reversal candle, look where we open at. We open at where we closed at on this previous candle. We obviously had this big wick. We then squeezed back up, and then we closed above the previous 15-minute candle. So this is kind of my smaller time frame setups, but applied to the 15-minute time frame setup. Same thing we use for like the 1 minute chart and things like that. So this is a strategy that I love. This is the Lux Algo indicator. There's a link down below if you want these trend lines and the fair value gaps and all this information. It is inside of the Lux Algo indicator, which is the Lux Algo price action concepts. And that link is down below if you want to check it out to sign up for that today. But right now, just look at how beautifully this played out. Like I said, we pulled back into that pivot point there at the 28s. We bounced. And if you look here on the smaller time frames, guess what we got? What did we get here? What did we get? Can you answer it? Can you answer the question? Answer it. Come on. We got a trap. Right? We had a little trap. We had this set up here. Kind of ding, 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 ding. We break below it like we're going to go lower. And guess what? We rip right back up. We bounced off that level. That's telling us that what? The buyers are stepping in there. The trap is set. Now the shorts are getting squeezed out. We push up, we push up, we push up. And look at this move back to the highs up there to the 400 level. So an absolute beautiful move there off the lows. We bounce off the lows. We push back up. Guess what? We also had this morning another really good trap. We traded this live on YouTube, and I talked about this idea, right? We pushed up at open. We kind of pulled back, and then right when the market opened, guess what? We trapped. It happened. It really did happen. We trapped very beautifully, and I ended up getting short when we broke below this level right there. Yeah, that moved down. That helped to my P&L today. But look at that trap, that wick, right? The wick right there. Wick, trap. We got above this level. We trapped. We got below it. Can't hold there. Well, where are we going to go? If you look at the chart, there's not really much going on here. Okay, I'm thinking like maybe here. Previously back to here to the left. Okay, target confirmed. Down there to the 30s. So we trap. We sell. We start to build some structure here at the 30s. We push back up. And then look at that rocket launch. What was really beautiful about this setup today was, first off, we talked about this trap idea, this idea of trapping down here at this 30 level, which we ended up kind of doing there perfectly at open right there. So we had that really beautiful kind of idea pulling back into this level. We squeeze up, but this might have been, this is probably the best setup of the day, to be honest with you. We had this trap. Look at this trap right here. 3-minute chart. We get up here, we get stuck, totally fine. We know we're probably going to pull back. We have this trend line there, and guess what? We then pulled back. We trapped right here into this level, this previous area of resistance turning into support. Previous area of resistance turning into support. What does that mean? That's bullish, my friends. Bullish. When you see that setup, when a previous area of resistance is turning into support, that's pretty freaking bullish, right? So we had that setup. It was absolutely beautiful. Go to the 1-minute chart. Well, would you just look at this? It was almost too good to be true, to be honest, because look at that 1-minute candle. Look where we closed at. The trap was real. We got through this area for a second. We pushed right back up. And then look at what happens. We just squeeze right up there. And I talked about this on the live stream. I was like, guys, as long as we keep closing up here in the 90s and we get above the 300s, guess what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Think about it like this. Everybody that started shorting here, started shorting here, started shorting here, shorting, they are now putting their stops at where? At 300, that whole number. So 300 stops. If we get above 300, they're going to get squeezed. And guess what happened? We squeezed straight through there. Guys, we're breaking this all down live on YouTube every morning at 9 a.m. So if you're not tuning in, I don't know what you're doing. You're missing out on the most real action on YouTube. The most watched futures live stream in the world is happening every day on this channel. So hit that subscribe button, the like button right now. But look at this squeeze up. Once we're above this 300 level, look what happens. Get rid of the indicators. Get rid of the lines there. Look what happens. The low on that candle, 302. The low on that candle, 302. The low on that candle, 302. Is it a coincidence? No. Once we hold that 300 level, it's off to the races. And look at this, 100-point move. 100-point move from our low. Pretty much, well, 100-point move from that breakout. But in general, look at how beautifully this played out for us on the 3-minute chart today. Just absolutely beautiful. Get rid of the indicator and just see how beautiful this pullback was, how it all played out. And guess what? This is just like we talked about over the weekend in that video, the pullback into previous resistance, turning into support, and then getting that massive move to the upside. So what's the lesson from today? When previous areas of resistance turn into support, you know it's time to party, especially this type of move. We get that breakout, we pull back, and bam, it's off to the races. If you guys haven't already hit that like button, subscribe button, make sure you tune in every single morning, 9 a.m. We're doing this every morning. Doing it every morning, my friends. So I don't know what you're doing. If you're not watching, you're clearly watching the wrong stream. So go ahead and tune in. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for Wild Wednesdays. We're doing it live every morning. I'll talk to you guys later on.